Hello, howlers. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are at. We are live. I'm Alurgus,
I'm Hazey.
and this is
Welcome.
Howling at Night.
Yeah. We're
We
back at
got
it again. But we're going to be doing
yeah,
a little bit of a special episode, as you can see by the title. We're going
yeah.
to let the nights howl. We're going to be doing a little interview of sorts. Me and my buddy Alurgus here will be asking each other questions about life, how we grew up, things about each other, just to kind of help the world and you guys get to know us a bit better. You
Absolutely.
know?
I was thinking, right, that as we do when we're insane and have ADHD. And And I was inspired a little bit by our interview with Eodor. If you guys did not take a listen, I recommend it. Please, definitely give it a listen. Like, it was an awesome episode. I listened to it
Yes.
myself while I was at work, actually, the other day. And I think we did an amazing job.
I
And I would
will.
love to have him on again
Here's the thing.
sometime.
Okay. I'm gonna give a bit of a quick honesty with not just the stream, but with you, Chris.
Mhm.
Alargus, sorry. I need to get used to calling you Alargus on stream. I'm so used to just calling you by
Yeah.
I do not listen to our things. And that is mostly because I do not like hearing my own voice.
Here's the thing. I don't like hearing
Hold
my
on
own
1 second.
voice. Oh,
1 second.
okay. 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, minus all the seconds that I didn't count.
Fuck you.
Uh, don't tell me. But
Hello.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm
I
back.
I
My
was
father and my uncle came in the door. So I had to check what was up. That's something I can agree less on your voice. Thank you, Fox. I appreciate it. I have been told, here's my thing, right? I have been told time and time again that I have a great voice. I should do, like, I have been told so many times throughout my life that I should be a voice actor.
I agree.
Shut up, Dad. I've been told I should be a voice
Hey,
actor. And honestly, I appreciate people who tell me that, but also I just generally don't like listening to myself. I don't like
I
hearing my voice back at me.
I agree with that sentiment. However, I that sentiment ended when I was listening. Because of course I follow my own podcast, right? Like I follow our podcasts. So it's in
I
my feed of Spotify's like podcasts, right? And I
yeah.
was listening, going through the episodes that I needed to catch up on for all my podcasts. And ours just happened to pop on, and I was busy. I was like, "Ugh, I hate the sound of my voice." But then, as I'm hearing like the banter go back and forth, it felt like I wasn't listening to our podcast, if that makes sense. The only other thing that I would like just be cringed upon is hearing me say and I'm like, fuck, damn it. It's like
I feel that so much. Anywho, I have decided that I'm going to start doing something for our little podcast. I don't know if this is going to be an every stream thing or if this is just going to be a podcast, but I'm going to start every time with a little question for everybody to answer. And that
I,
current question is, what is a franchise, show, cartoon, whatever,
yeah.
something along those lines that you believe does not get the respect it deserves? And I'm going to start off by giving my answer. Now, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a post that asked this question, and their answer is my answer.
Okay.
Because I agree, and that is Power Rangers.
Well, first
I
ask the
think
question. I don't
no,
think you
I
asked.
asked I asked the question. The question was, what is a franchise you believe, cartoon, show, whatever, something along those lines, you
Okay.
believe does not get the respect it deserves? My
Okay.
answer being Power Rangers. I do think now I'm going to alleviate that by saying Power Rangers does have like a lot of nostalgia factor for a lot of people,
Yeah.
but I don't think it gets a lot of the respect it actually deserves. especially because there's so many people out there who look at Power Rangers and goes, "This is a kids show." You know, when yes, it was originally designed for kids, but as it got older and older, alongside the people it was alongside, it got to certain points where it was okay. It was less of a kids show, more of a teenager show, more of a young adult show. Nowadays, they've kind of had like a bit of a hard reboot and have gone back to the more their kid oriented stuff with like Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury, and I don't know whatever the newest one is. I don't remember, but I think a lot of people tend to forget that there is some very hard and real shit going down. Like for one of the examples that's brought up is the Power Rangers RPM. The whole story,
yes.
The whole story behind Power Rangers RPM is that a virus has taken over the world and has eliminated, I believe it was like 75% of the population of
literally,
Earth,
there's only one city left, which is the city of Corinth.
The domed city of Corinth. Also, for context, if you guys haven't watched Power Rangers RPM, go watch it. It's fucking awesome.
Well, so I didn't even know.
The only fucking issue I have with the entire show is that honestly, the Zords are probably one of my least favorites. Outside of that,
I didn't mind the Zords. But the reason why I didn't mind them though is I watched the Go-Kaiger before I watched. If you don't know what I mean by Go-Kaiger is, so Power Rangers is not.
It's not an original.
It's not an original.
Hold on. I'm going to be honest.
To America. It's originally.
That's not entirely true anymore. It's not entirely true anymore. Their newest series is completely original to America.
Which I've heard about. I have not seen anything in regards to. No. But I'm talking in general, right?
The original Power Rangers is based off of a Japanese series called Super Sentai.
Or otherwise known as Go-Kaiger. But yes.
Actually, no. Go-Kaiger is slightly different. Go-Kaiger is certain ones. Go-Kaiger is certain Power Rangers. It's not all of them, though. Super Sentai is the broad name. Which is even funnier because technically even Super Sentai isn't the original. Super Sentai is actually based off of Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
And Voltron, yeah. Voltron takes it does take a lot of inspiration from Voltron.
But basically, I will say in regards to Power Rangers, there is some iterations that they took over that they should have done it right, and they did a bad job.
I think I genuinely believe
I had hope, and my hope was
Power Rangers. Power Rangers is one of my favorite franchises ever. But the moment Saban kind of sold the rights to Power Rangers to whoever the fuck owns it now is when Power Rangers went on a downslide.
Yeah.
Anywho, what is a franchise you think deserves more respect?
So that's hard because when I think of in regards to like a show or we'll broaden it to like, let's say show, anime, manga, we could even go book series if you will.
I mean, I think as long as it has some connection to like
basically
media, televised media, I think it's fine.
That did not only like get the respect it's deserved, whether it's fan base or the company that brought it forth to media. Yeah. There's quite a few, but if I had to hone in on one, this one caught me by surprise because it was brought back to my attention by my little sister. Which I was like, "What? You watched this?" Because it is not meant for kids. No, it was on Sci-Fi, or Sci-Fi.
Jesus, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's drugs, alcohol, sex, everything, and that's Deadly Class.
Yo,
if you
Deadly Class years.
So I completely recommend it. It's only one season, however. They cut it after the season with good ratings. Like,
I
it
think
was
a lot of
decent.
it. I think a lot of it came down to the fact that like it was around the time it came out, or at least near the ending of its first season, that like
Yeah.
it was a lot of. That's when the whole this isn't appropriate for stuff like this started happening a lot.
I mean, fair. There was certain things that happened in that show that
Yeah, no,
I
I
was
agree.
like, damn, they're gonna show this. Okay, I'm here for it, but fuck.
I'm on live stream. My dad says
But
hi, Chris.
I
No,
um
I do think Deadly Class is a very good outfit.
yeah.
Honestly, funnily enough, I'm actually pretty sure Deadly Class is what helped inspire. I don't quote me on this. I don't think this might not be true, but I remember seeing something that said Assassination Classroom took some inspiration from Deadly Class, or at least in its theming, I guess.
I could see that.
I
I
could
could
see
see
it
that
too.
to some extent.
It wasn't like it wasn't. I think a lot of it was like it was less about the actual topics of Deadly Class and more like the idea of something violent or whatnot happening in a classroom setting.
Yeah, that
And I'm like,
actually
okay.
tracks. But yeah, I will say, I don't think I mentioned this. We got a bit of a new look. It's going to be a little rough around the edges for pod
Yep.
streams as well as my own personal streams. Basically, what happened was I've been using Streamlabs for over 2 years, and it decided to flip me the bird, so to speak. And I was like, let's do OBS. Yeah, it's been an interesting few days for those of you that have tuned into that. But we're here and we're going to keep on going forward. But I think so far we're off to a great start. Hazey. You there, buddy?
I've got a lot of noise in the background.
No, you're
Do try
good.
to ignore any other noise that comes through. I will end this little segment. We're trying to do a podcast. Please stop. I will end this segment off with I'm going to say one other franchise that I don't think gets as much respect as it deserves.
Okay.
And that is a franchise that started off as a book series. It expanded off into other books. It became a set of movies, which I believe is where the downfall of this series came from. And it has recently had a show come out.
I know exactly which one you're talking about, but go on.
And that is the Percy Jackson books.
I knew it. Yes.
I genuinely enjoy. I'm not a huge Percy Jackson person, but I do think it deserves more respect than it gets. Percy Jackson and the extended Rick Riordan books in general. To be fair, here's the thing, right?
I literally have.
I
got this from my
Riordan.
sister. Okay, I literally have the books right behind me. Put some respect on the name.
So here's the thing, right? I need to get a different set of Rick Riordan books. There is a specific series that I loved from Rick Riordan.
Which one?
And that was the Kane Chronicles.
Yes, and I was upset because they were going to make a show.
Yeah, they were going to make a show, and I believe it got canceled
It got canceled.
I believe it actually. No, it didn't get cut or canceled or anything. It got replaced because they decided to go back to the old favorite, which was Percy Jackson.
Yeah,
which is mildly successful. It's fine. It's good. I actually appreciate the fact that
they've actually
closer to the books.
They've done a lot of keeping to the books, and which they didn't do for the movies.
Real quick,
they actually have the author.
Now, I'm going to be honest, real quick. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Percy Jackson is. For anybody who doesn't, who's been living under a goddamn rock, Percy Jackson is a book series by an author named Rick Riordan who follows a young boy by the name of Percy Jackson, the son of Poseidon, following him along an adventure of Greek gods, Greek myths, Greek legends.
Yes.
And kind of dives into this. He finds out he's half a demigod, gets sent to a camp where these half-bloods exist, and ends up going on these wild mythic level adventures and whatnot, discovering more to his powers, friendships, stuff like that.
Mhm.
There is more to it than just Percy Jackson, of course. Because of this, it extends into other mythos. Like, I believe, what is the series called? It's the one that's based off of my religion. I forget
Oh,
I forget what the kid's called in that one
um,
because I haven't read it for some reason. Uh, something Stone?
no,
No,
no. It's Magnus Chase.
Magnus Chase. Thank you, Magnus Chase. It follows Magnus Chase, but he does. But it's like Norse
Who?
mythology: Thor, Odin, Loki. But then there is my personal favorite, which is actually the least known of the sets, and that is called the Kane Chronicles, which follows a pair
Yes.
of twins who discover they are what are known as wizards, which is basically the Egyptian terminology for demigods.
Yeah.
And
Because
it's such a phenomenal book series.
yeah,
It was the book series that got me through junior high growing up. It was amazing.
I will say, um, in regards to Percy Jackson and the show,
Yeah.
I think they've done a really good job with the show itself and keeping to the doing justice to it, right?
I this is my mentality with the whole Percy Jackson thing. I think the books are good. I think the books are great. I think they started an amazing franchise. The
Movies,
movies were
I
kind of
don't recommend it. I don't
they're
recommend.
fine if you want like if you want
They're
nostalgia,
fine
if
if
you
you
want
want standalone and like,
there were those movies that came out around the same time as like Transformers and stuff
but
like that. Like those movies, they're okay. They're fine.
it's not something that you watch if you want.
But it is also where Percy Jackson had a bit of a downslide and people started
Yeah.
losing interest in it. The series has kind of brought back that interest a little
Mhm.
bit. I don't think it's but I don't think it's given as much respect as it deserves. I think it's doing a really good job
Now,
for what it has.
there is something that they could do
You know,
with the Percy Jackson series, which would be interesting because they don't have books for this.
yeah.
And that's Camp Jupiter. So, for those of you that don't know,
Oh, wait, yeah, they do.
spoil.
Yeah, they do.
What
The
do you
Heroes of
mean?
Olympus. The Heroes of
No,
Olympus series.
yes,
That's like heavily Camp Jupiter.
yes, but no. Here's what I mean by
I
that. Here's what I mean by that.
they don't have a main cake. They don't have a mainstay named character for the camp.
They do. They do.
Do they?
Yes, they do. First off, don't get it twisted. Put some respect on Jason Grace's name, first off.
Oh, he doesn't even appear in all of them, though.
Yeah. Anyway, they show and they hint basically the events that happen for Camp Jupiter at the same exact time as the events that happen for Camp Half-Blood. But they don't have a book of what exactly took place and how that actually looked.
Well, because here's
I
the
think
thing,
it would be
right?
kind of cool if they had a show.
There's a reason for that, though. There's an in-universe reason for that, and it's because Rick Riordan has stated everything that happened to Camp Half-Blood is almost exactly what happens to Camp Jupiter, and it's designed that way because in real life, Greek and Roman they're counterparts to each other. Jupiter is literally just Zeus but Roman. Like he
But
states
I
that
think it would.
That's the reason that's the reason Rick Riordan states that's the reason. As far as I think he did, I don't know.
I think it would
these are a
be
lot of things I've
cool
read.
if,
I do.
while they have the Percy Jackson stuff, they do a secondary spin-off series with Camp Jupiter, right? I'm not saying it would ever happen, but I think it would be cool. And then they lead that into Heroes of Olympus, and you see both sides actually interacting.
I think it would be. I agree in the sense of like, let's do it as a show.
Yes.
Because then it gives like the showrunners, who, by the way, have read all of these books and so do try to keep to the series, but it gives them freedom to be like, let's come up with some of our own juicy little segments. And it also gives them like the ideology of like, oh, okay, there's no book to compare it to, so there isn't like some lofty goal to reach for.
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel like if they were to do a Camp Jupiter spinoff series, it would be even more successful than the actual Percy Jackson series.
I do agree. In a lot of sense, like you would have more nostalgia, right, with Camp Half Blood, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey,
But with
let's
Camp
not get it twisted. You
Jupiter,
would still get some nostalgia because you'd be hearing those names that were referenced in Heroes of Olympus and so forth.
yes, but I know more people that know like the Percy Jackson series, which is valid,
Yeah.
right?
I know
Then
more
they
people.
do Heroes of Olympus.
I know more people who know Magnus Chase than Heroes of Olympus.
But also you're Norse pagan, so that makes sense.
Yes, that's very fair. The only one out of the group that I think I know that I think is shown less than Heroes of Olympus is the Kane Chronicles. And I think that's because of
that's in part that they only did 3 books for it.
No, they did 4. There are 4 books to the Kane Chronicles.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, there's a 4th book.
Hold the fucking phone.
The difference between because because they did Kane, it's why it's called the Kane Chronicles and not the Kane Trilogy.
Throne of Fire, Serpent Shadow. No, they only did 3.
No, they did a 4th, although technically it's not classified under the Kane Chronicles. I believe it's a book.
Oh, you're talking about the couple books that they did with Percy Jackson.
It's a book that it's the book series that actually brings them into the Percy Jackson universe.
Yes.
Alongside like Magnus
Which there's
Chase.
actually a couple books that I have not read. So I'm not going to go into it because I don't know and I don't want spoilers.
But again, anybody who loves mythology, anybody who loves Greek, Roman, Norse, Egyptian mythology, if you are a big fan of this kind of stuff, read Rick Riordan, read the Percy Jackson series,
actually,
read the Magnus Chase series, read Heroes of Olympus, and read Kane Chronicles.
I'm gonna pose a question for our chat, for our viewers, for our listeners. If you do like that kind of stuff, it could be Percy Jackson and all that. It could be another book series. Let us know, and let us know if you would like us to read and maybe even talk about it. And we have maybe a book talk, if you will, podcast where we actually read the book and talk about it.
I don't know why. I'm gonna be so fucking honest. If we do this, I know 2 books series we need to talk about.
Oh, there's a few. Off the top of my head, there's more than a few, but there's definitely a few.
There are 2 specifically. I need to remind myself what the books are called. What's this book? Hold on.
I'm making you think.
Series.
Once you figure that out.
39 Clues. I don't know if anybody remembers the 39 Clues series. It was an amazing book series, and when it originally was being published and posted out, it was one of those like kids books that came with like a little card thing in the front of it. Like you would pull off a little pack that came with cards. And these cards were supposed to help you solve the mystery.
I don't think I ever got into 39 Clues.
Oh, it's such a good series. It was a series that I never finished because there were so many books. And a lot of my reading was done through like school libraries, and they never had the complete series.
Message me yet?
Yeah. What was the other one? 39 Clues. There was one other. It was about a kid. I forget what the book series was called. And it wasn't even a book series that I got into back in school. It was one I got into because they made a movie about it. They did a movie for it, and it's about a kid, this really genius fucking kid who's like, I believe, if I remember correctly, he's like he has like a heavy control over like the underworld, but because of his connections through that, he discovers the world of fantasy and magic. What is it fucking called?
Book series turned show? Or turn movie?
It was turned into a movie.
Movie about a kid with Necromantic powers?
No. What the hell? What are you talking? Necromantic powers?
That's what you said.
No, it was a genius kid who had connections to the underworld, and I mean in the sense of like the mafia,
Oh.
like that underworld, like mafia, like drug dealings, gun smuggling, and found the world of fantasy.
And finds the world of fantasy. Artemis Fowl?
Yes, thank you, Artemis Fowl. The Artemis Fowl series is so fucking cool. That's exactly what I was thinking of, Artemis Fowl.
See, this is why you have me, because I can find things.
Funnily enough, Fox also said it.
That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't put the name to it, and I'm like,
Artemis Fowl.
that's
I
the only
love
thing
the Artemis Fowl series
that I can think of. But dialing back, right?
Yeah.
Before we get too side quested with Percy Jackson and book series.
Oh, Fox, that's awesome. I need to reread them. They're so good.
Yeah.
Those are some books we'll talk about in the near future if you guys want us to. Artemis Fowl, 39 Clues, any other book series that you guys find interesting.
And I can't think of the name of it.
Describe it to me.
So basically the world's in eternal darkness, and the only rays of light comes from two things. One thing known as sunstones, right? And another thing, there's like this animal that kind of looks like a horned, like a horned walrus, if you will, with a giant unicorn horn.
Okay.
And the unicorn horn like glows and shit. But basically they utilize these sunstones to make like constructs and stuff out of light. And I thought it was like a very interesting series. I can't think of the name of that. It's a world that I could definitely utilize for D&D, I tell you that much, but yeah.
There's one more book series I'm going to bring up, and that is because I'm going to bring up one last book series, and then we're going to move on, okay?
Okay.
And that is by an author named Cassandra Clare. I love Cassandra Clare. She writes amazing books. She has a book series called, I believe it's the Immortal Instrument series. And I believe the first book in that series is The City of Bones. And I believe it's also connected to another series of books called the Shadowhunter books. I'm also going to get very fair context. Basically, it follows along this girl. I forget what her name is. She basically ends up discovering that she's connected to this weird hidden. It's very much like that. Like, I think it takes place in London primarily, but it's like heavily. Oh, there's magic in the world, but it's like hidden from everybody's eyes to the point that they physically just aren't capable of seeing it.
Okay.
But this girl, for some reason can see it. She gets dragged into it aggressively. She, of course, ends up. It's a young adult series, so of course she ends up forming a very romantic connection with the lead male character. Let me see if I can pull up the books.
You just reminded me of something from your previous question, and you're getting it. I'm trying to get us back on track.
Yeah, there's like City of Bones, City of Ashes, City of Glass, City of
I know exactly what book series you're talking about, though.
Yeah, yes. It's called the Immortal Instrument series. It's fucking phenomenal. I believe they did like a minor series on the Shadowhunter books, which is connected to the Mortal Instruments.
But
yeah, it's no, right. Okay. Discover the world of Shadowhunters in the first installment of New York Times and international best-selling Mortal Instruments series, and prepare to be hooked. Entertainment Weekly. City of Bones is a Shadowhunters novel. Yeah, it's connected to. Yeah, when a desperate phone call from her mom brings Claire home to a scene of destruction and grotesque monster that almost kills her, Claire finally gets some answers. One of the teens from a club, Jace, who looks like an angel but acts like a jerk, rescues her and introduces himself as a shadow hunter, part of a secret cadre of warriors dedicated to driving demons out of the mundane world and back to their own. Jace and his friend Alec and Isabel hunt their prey on the streets of New York City, unseen by humans except for Claire. And it goes on to basically be like, okay, why can Claire see us? Why is Claire able to see this world when she isn't one of us? And it's really interesting. Anyway, let's move along before and get to our actual situation before I distract us any further. It's a good series, isn't it, Fox?
You know what? I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I literally have like 13 questions I want to ask you, and we're 30 minutes in.
I mean, hey, we could instead of the Ill Rigger being our next episode, we could do this.
Part 2. I don't like doing part 2 though, even though we haven't done a part 2.
We could just have our next episode be about books.
Technically, the Illrigger subclasses is a part 2, but we're categorizing it as its own episode.
Because we talked about the Illrigger in that next episode. We're talking about the subclasses.
To be fair, it was more like a bona fide. We looked at the Illrigger rather than talked about it.
No, we read it. We read it off. We were like,
that's what I mean. We looked at it. We literally read it off. Page to,
but anyway,
to our voice.
And yes, Fox, The Mortal Instruments is a really good book series. I believe there's another fucking book series that I started reading by her. I don't remember what it's called. I'll get back to you later once I remember it. Anywho.
Holy crap.
Shall we get into it? We're already 30 minutes in. Why don't we get into the meat and potatoes of this actual episode?
Give me 1 second. I think I just remembered what the hell the sit. Actually, I'm going to ask you while I'm looking at this. Hazey, buddy.
Yes.
As people are well aware that have listened to us banter back and forth, kudos to you guys and your ears that have been bleeding. Yeah. What is your origin story? What put you on the journey to gaming and, of course, nerdom?
Nerdom, yeah. You know what? That's a good start to this little thing we're doing. I'm basically going to start with like the whole shebang.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give my real name for obvious reasons. I'm not going to do anything like that. But I will state some facts about myself. I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. Although technically I was born in Thunderbird Hospital, so technically I was born in Glendale, Arizona.
Oh, we're giving birth states. Okay.
Yeah, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona, born and raised here. It's where me and Alurgus still reside heavily. I grew up bouncing from house to house. Me and my parents never were able to really keep one house. We grew up on Section 8, so we were always moving every 3 or 4 years. So I went to a lot of different schools. The earliest school I remember going to is a school called John R. Davis Elementary. Off I forget fucking which. I think it's on Val Vista and something. I don't remember. It was a J.R. Davis Elementary, and this is kind of where I first peaked. Again, this is probably one of my earliest memories. This is the first memory I had where I got into reading. Funnily enough, very good leeway from what we were previously talking about. I heavily got into the world of nerdom because I started reading a lot. Funnily enough, and here's a good question I'm going to ask you, because it kind of connects to the previous comment and this. The first book I ever read, funnily enough, was the first book from Lord of the Rings.
Ooh.
And that is a lot of the reason why I'm so heavily into the fantasy setting about stuff. It was the first book I ever read. And funnily enough, I take a lot of pride in it because a lot of teachers at the school were stupidly impressed by the fact that I was reading what they classified as such a high level book. Because like you needed some impressive level like reading comprehension to read that book. And
Yeah.
funnily enough, it was almost entirely by accident because it was such a high level reading comprehension that it wasn't even a book that was supposed to be in that school's library. But I found it, I read it, I loved it. I will summon oh shut up when there be, because that's exactly what happened. Oh no, but that's it's what got me into fantasy and whatnot, and that kind of led me down the road of that also kind of led me into, because my dad and my mom noticed that I liked reading, and I liked reading fantasy more specifically than anything else. At least early on. I grew out into other stuff as time went on, but my parents realized that I was also into other stuff. My dad was a big fan of fantasy video games, and so he got me into fantasy video games.
Gotcha.
I believe one of the first actual consoles I ever had was the Nintendo 64, and I had a game called Quest 64, which was basically like this really shitty a really shitty version of like Final Fantasy type game.
Okay.
Where you had like your character and you had a little bunch of buddies you could bring along with you, and it was like turn based. And it's funny to think about it because like I never really enjoyed Quest 64, and to this day I'm still not a huge fan of those games except for Dragon Quest, which I fucking adore. The game that really truly brought me into the world of fantasy for video games was Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And to this day, Legend of Zelda is still one of my favorite Nintendo franchises.
Okay.
Second only to Pokemon, which is something I got into around the same time because we also had Pokemon Stadium. And so
Gotcha.
I kind of grew up on the OG Pokemon. I was born around the time that the second generation of Pokemon came out. I didn't really get to play proper Pokemon up until the third gen came out. Third or fourth, I believe, one of those two gens.
I actually never played the Pokemon games.
I know that because we've talked about that, and I remember trying to get you into Pokemon,
which I haven't played. It's funny because most games and people are like, "Oh, this is peak childhood." I probably have not played.
Funnily enough, so here's the funny part. Here's a core memory for me growing up, and this is a core memory that you're going to find some level of connection with because it's a part of a game series that you love. I grew up watching my dad play Oblivion.
Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Which, for context, anybody who doesn't know, Oblivion is the fourth game in the Elder Scrolls series, which is the game before Chris's favorite game, Skyrim.
Yes, sir. Yes,
now,
sir.
While Chris had a huge connection to Skyrim, Alurgus, again, got to get used to that. I had a massive connection to Oblivion growing up. And it was the game I like the day my dad finally let me hop on his computer and play Oblivion for the first time. I adored so fucking much. Now, I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I'm going to tell you a little bit of a details that's going to kind of explain my choice, because I'm going to tell you about the first character I ever made. I was born in the year 2000, and my parents discovered that was the year of the golden dragon in the Chinese calendar. And because of this, dragons have been intrinsic in my life ever since. To this day, still my favorite fucking creature in all existence. I love dragons. They're so fucking cool. And they stand for some really fucking cool things. But because of this, my first character I ever built in Oblivion was an Argonian named Chinoog, I believe. I believe I called him Chinoog the warrior. And I went with the simple, sword and board style, some healing magic, because in Oblivion you didn't have to equip them separately. It was just like, because back in Oblivion, magic was more like your power system, than it was an actual separate magic like it is in the best way to classify it is in Oblivion, magic took up the position of Skyrim's shouts.
Gotcha.
Now, I'm pretty sure I think you've tried Oblivion Remastered, I believe, right?
Well, I played both Oblivion and Oblivion Remastered. I will say, if you're planning on getting Oblivion Remastered or playing it, it is, at least, I don't know if they've updated it a lot since I got it.
I think it's still around $50-$60 for the original.
But it was super laggy, so
you do need... Okay.
Like, you could have the highest end computer and it'll lag. That's how bad it is.
Oblivion Remastered is one of those games that's kind of like, you need the highest high-end computers to run it. It is a
Oblivion, not so much.
Not so much. Oblivion's a very old game. Although, to be fair, at its time, it was top tier. It was a top tier game.
Oh, yeah.
When it came up, because it was ahead of the fucking curve when it came to the way it was built. Because it was one of the OG games on the Unreal Engine. Which, for context, everybody, nowadays, if you see a video game, more than likely, it's on Unreal. It's probably being run on Unreal Engine 5, which is the most recent version of that engine. I believe Oblivion was on Unreal Engine 2 or 3. It was either 2 or 3. I know it wasn't the original, because the original was what ran Daggerfall and Arena.
But to dial it back a bit, so let me get this straight. Your origin story, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Right. Is basically what got you into nerddom is reading that kind of sprouted into a hunger for fantasy, and then that coupled with seeing like your dad and family members play games like Oblivion.
It was kind of
culminated.
I'll pause you right there, because it was kind of that, but also partially my family noticing that I liked reading, and then noticing that I was very into fantasy books. And because of that, he might also, because my dad was also a very big gamer at the time, and he's like, he might enjoy fantasy video games. And that's around the time that I started watching him play Oblivion and stuff like that. It's the same with he talked a lot about D&D growing up, so I had D&D in my life at a very early age. And for context, when I say D&D, I don't mean 5th edition or 4th edition for that matter. I grew up around 2nd and 3rd edition stuff.
You lucky soul.
I grew up around some of that fucking peak stuff. I even grew up to some extent around a little bit of Pathfinder.
Okay.
But it wasn't nearly as prolific. If I'm being honest, I didn't even grow up around D&D as much as I did another TTRPG. For context, this TTRPG is a game that I've told you about, Chris, and you're very interested in it. That is a game called KMB, Knights and Beasts, and it is
and I'm still waiting.
Yeah, it's taken a while because they're trying to find everything, but we're also
no, you're good. The moment I get word, we are going to go through it.
Yeah, the moment I have it, I will send it to you and be like, we're checking this out.
That's the kind of thing that I might take time off work.
Context,
I'm not even gonna lie.
Or Knights and Beast was a TTRPG that my dad and his friends designed when they were back in high school or whatever.
Yeah,
and basically, it's essentially just D&D, but designed in a way that suited them more. It's honestly kind of similar to 5th edition, although I don't think my dad would ever admit that, because my dad does not like 5th edition D&D.
Okay.
He doesn't like anything past 4th edition, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
Again, if I'm being completely blunt, my dad is a lot of the reason I'm into a lot of the things I'm into. D&D, Magic the Gathering, fantasy, video games, even reading. My dad is a lot of the reason. Dragons, even. If it wasn't for my dad finding that weird, 2000 year, the Golden Dragon. My dad is the reason I had, for fucking years, up until I was 17, I had a little stuffed animal. and it was like a little sand beach. It was like, instead of like those like normally stuffed ones, it was like it had like sand in it instead, and it was like this rainbow colored Chinese dragon that I called Fang.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, that's basically my origin story. Grew up in Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, bounced around from house to house, got to a school called J.R. Davis Elementary School, found an interest in reading books, read the first Lord of the Rings book. I don't remember which one it is. I believe it's an adventure. I forget what the fucking title is, because I know there's Twin Towers, but the Two Towers, I believe, is the second one. It's either the second or the third one. I don't remember. Speaking of Lord of the Rings, a book I need to read is I need to read the Silmarillion.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, no. Got heavily into books. My parents realized, oh, he really likes fantasy. He's really enjoying this stuff. Again, I think a lot of that also draws back into being so heavily connected with dragons growing up, even
Absolutely.
to this day. Got connected with D&D, Magic the Gathering,
Yeah.
role play in general. I also do want to say it's a lot my family's fault that I grew up to be such a fucking heavy pervert.
I can't blame.
That side of things.
I can, but I can't. I blame my friends growing up more so than family. But I could get into some stuff in a minute.
I'm gonna ask you essentially the same question.
Okay.
But in the origins of like, what was it? Because I know, if I remember correctly, you weren't born here in Phoenix, or you weren't born here in Arizona at all, right?
No, actually, I was not. I am not a born and bred Zoni.
I believe you grew up for a little bit. I forget where.
Okay.
But you grew up slightly in a little bit, but you were like, what? How old were you when you first moved here?
I was 2.
You were 2. Okay. So
yes.
Honestly,
which was a very much a vivid time. I still have fond memories because.
Okay. So then what was it like moving to a different state, a different place at such a young age?
So in that regard, I don't recall. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Yes. So I don't even remember. So my origin story, if you will. My young, sweet summer child that is Alurgus, right, was born in a lovely, cloud-filled sky of Portland, Oregon. Yeah, I was born up north, and basically,
that explains a lot about you.
What is that supposed to mean?
Whatever you want it to mean.
Yeah.
Whatever you want it to mean. I'm gonna leave that up to you. What do you...
Okay, buddy.
That is, but, you're either gonna say you're fucked up, or you're gonna say I was raised right.
No comment. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was raised in Portland, Oregon. Or born rather in Portland, Oregon. I was there for the first couple years of my life. And in that regard, I don't truly recall Oregon at all. I've only been back once, and I was driving through probably a few years ago, give or take. But yeah, I was born in Portland, Oregon. I was raised out here in Arizona, and it bounced around between places like Glendale, North Phoenix, a bit of Central Phoenix, right? So think like OG, like Christown Mall with the YMCA behind it.
Oh my God. Core memories.
Madison School District, yada yada. Up until around middle school, in which case I was homeschooled for a few years. That was a interesting experience. The only time in my life where I had straight A's, I tell you what.
It would explain a lot as to why we never met. It's why we met. It explains a lot as to why we met so late on in life, especially
Yeah, well, that's
because as you just
another
said,
question entirely that I have listed.
Yeah, because as you said, you grew up in like the Madison school district, right? Whereas with
Yes, up
me,
until middle school.
I was in the Roosevelt district.
Okay.
I grew up a lot in like Roosevelt district with like J.R. Davis, as I said. I believe I went. I forget what the fucking. I know there was like 2 other schools before J.R. And then after J.R. I was in elementary, and then I went to junior high.
Okay.
There was also high, but that was around the time that I was like, no, I want to go to the same school as my parents. I want to go to South.
Well, so ironically, how I ended up going there was pure chance.
Really?
So I was homeschooled from like the middle of 7th grade through my freshman year of high school, right? And my freshman year of high school, I ended up failing 2 of my classes. And it was not my fault that I failed, mind you. It was my teachers. Both 2 of my teachers were pregnant and they were dealing with their stuff, right? And while dealing with that, and I'm the kind of person that, like, if I need help with something or I'm not sure, I will ask the person that has the info. I will find out, right? I was not able to get in contact with my teachers at all. And that meant failing assignments, because if I can't get the information I need to figure out how to do what I need to do, yeah. So I went from having nearly straight A's to failing 2 classes, and my mom was like, yo, we're done with this.
I want to state something that I take a lot of pride in, because this is something that my mom told me. I forget when it was. I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere in, who the hell just joined us?
You sluts.
Oh, it's the L.
Oh, hi, shit.
Guys. I'm finally free.
Hey.
We're just doing it. We're interviewing each other.
Oh,
for a podcast.
Yeah, we're live right now.
We're currently in the middle of talking about our backstory.
One of the few people that have access to this channel. No, you're good.
Very sorry.
You're always welcome.
No, you're always welcome in. We're always here. Love to hear your outtake on things.
We were actually talking earlier about your episode in particular that came out last week. And
I'm going to read the name. I just saw your guys' stuff. I see it says podcast now.
But
well, you're fine. But
yeah, to kind of
what I was saying was something my mom told me that I take a lot of pride in was at some point during I believe it was like mid-elementary school year, I had taken a test, and it was a statewide test. I had tested as the 2nd highest grade in the entire state that year.
Gotcha.
And it was something that I took so much fucking pride in, because the truth of the matter is, growing up, I was a very smart kid.
Yeah.
I had trouble focusing because I was ADHD, and I had bipolar, which was not fun, especially when you discover that you have that at the age of 5.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Discover that until I was the age of 23.
Would anybody like to know how how my family discovered that I was ADHD?
Sure, but then we need to dial it back because we're almost an hour, and I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, no, I get you. My parents discovered I was ADHD because I pissed on a Lego table in preschool.
I'm sorry.
I'm so confused.
I'm so confused, but also courtesy of ADHD, I can imagine it, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I was like 5, 6 years old. I was in preschool, and I was just having so much trouble focusing. I was being wild. I was being interactive, and I just started pissing. I stood on top of one of like those Lego tables that you could put Legos on.
Yeah.
whipped it out and started pissing everywhere.
Jeez. I can imagine the teachers are like, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, they had a long chat with my parents about that. And that's when I got put into therapy, discovered I was ADHD. A lot of that is also why, a lot of this is also why kind of links into my origin story of being so nerdy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because books and video games really ended up being some of the few stuff that allowed me to focus. There was only one other thing in my entire life that brought me as much focus as those two things. And that was drawing. I loved drawing. I need to get back into it because I haven't been able to in recent years. But I love doing hand drawings. I love when a pencil's in my hand and I'm just able to sketch out whatever the hell comes to mind.
So I will say dialing it back because you asked me.
Yeah.
And then we got sidetracked.
Yeah.
A little bit. What my origin story is.
Yes, continue with yours.
I'm gonna be honest. I completely forgot where I was at. I had it about 10 minutes ago, and then I forgot.
I know where you left. You had just stated that you had failed a class. You had been failing because your teachers were pregnant and your mom pulled you out. Yeah.
In regards to how we came to meet, which I'm not going to go into detail because that's a question that I have. I will get to that in a minute. Basically, after failing 2 classes, my mom's was like, yo, we're going to pull you out and I'm going to put you in she originally wanted to put me in a private school. And I looked her dead in the eye and I was like, look, I know we can't afford it. And also, if I'm going back to a somewhat regular school, we're going public. Like,
real quick.
School of Hard Knocks, I don't care, but
quick, this does connect to school stuff. Did you have the thing that like the government thing that paid for your school lunches? Did you qualify for that growing up?
No, we made too much.
No, damn.
Yeah, so that even in high school,
such a different...
courtesy also of part of the reason why I was in culinary, because I technically had 2 lunches, baby.
Yeah.
But no, it's thinking
it
on
really was.
Thinking ahead. Anyway,
yeah, no, I get you.
But technically 3 if you want to count JRTC because I was a member of staff.
I remember that.
But that's
I remember that.
Besides the point. Those days were great. Minus the part of having to be early for formation. That was a pain in the ass. Especially when you have to walk or bike to school. But yeah, basically I closed my eyes and spun my finger around and it landed straight at the high school I went to. And I was like, well, here we go. Ironically, and I did not know this before going. I have a lot of great uncles and family members that went to our high school and have set records, like sports records, in our high school, as well as I went to school with several cousins, which I did not know while going there. I found out after the fact, and
fun little fact, my dad holds the unofficial record for the fastest like, I forget what exactly it was, but basically my dad completely fucking blitzed past the entire football team in a pair of steel toes and trench coat in high school. And because of that, he holds like an unofficial record.
But going to my origin story, how I found gaming, how I found nerdom. I didn't really have video games growing up. The closest thing, which would be probably pre-teen to teenage years, was my stepdad at the time had a very old desktop computer that had Atari games. And that was like what we had in the house. But what I did have was the ability to travel at a local library and McDonald's. Which, if you were a kid in the early 2000s, it was an interesting time. The internet was booming, but that also meant you either had parents that gave you all the tech stuff, or you had parents like mine that were more traditional and old school, where it's like you read a book or you go outside. And so I read a book or I went outside, and, the local McDonald's, which was a couple miles away, had, mind you, this was a day and age where you could travel.
Pretty easily,
You can, nowadays you don't see kids traveling that much for obvious reasons because there's freaks and perverts out there. Not the good kind either.
I remember going down the light rail one day and there was just a weird dude dancing around dressed in a Black Panther costume. It was a weird day.
But basically, I would go and they would have like the little PS2 or the GameCube at the McDonald's, and I'd hop on that, or I'd go to my local library and we would either read or we'd hop on the computer and do things like Newgrounds or freaking whatever browser game that we could find. In regards to books, I heavily led into fantasy, though I also was very keen on historic, like history related books.
Actually, fun little fact for everybody, which you might actually find this interesting. Social studies or history class, for anybody who doesn't know, was my favorite subject. I loved history.
Oh yeah.
I never really read historical books. Funnily enough, if I had to say a secondary book series or book style that I enjoyed, it was sci-fi.
Fair enough. But I was
Sorry, go ahead.
In a heavy religious household. So
fair.
You
say it's funny because you're saying this, and I'm noticing such differences in the ways we grew up.
Oh yeah, like legit. Like if I didn't go to like my library or McDonald's, I would go to friends' houses that lived in the neighborhood, and chances are they had video games and stuff.
So,
I would spend time over there.
Fun little kind of sad fact for you, Chris. I didn't really have that up until I met you.
What do you mean?
I didn't have friends to go over to their place and whatnot up until you.
Well, I'm glad I changed that for you.
Yeah, you were the first. Which it's so funny because I'm noticing these big differences between us. Like you had a very religious family. I had a very perverted family. And I don't mean that in the sense of they touched me or anything like that. No, they were just very open with the idea of sex and stuff.
Yeah.
To the point that they didn't have to have the birds and the bees conversation with me.
I didn't get that talk either, and I didn't need it because I figured that out a long time ago.
But they were also kind of strict in the sense of I wasn't really allowed to go places by myself. So I didn't really get the McDonald's experience. I didn't really get the library experience.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, because as I said, I learned that a lot of that through school.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, school was very important to me.
Well,
and it's the same with I grew up in public schools my entire life. You had private, you had homeschooling for a good portion of years.
I only had homeschooling for 3 years. Most of it was public schooling.
Hmm.
In regards to middle school, grade school to middle school, I didn't travel necessarily. I'd probably go to friends' houses, and it was one of those things where it's moms needs to meet the parents and stuff prior to and all that stuff. But during that time, it was okay. We had books, but also my mom was very busy because growing up, my mom worked nights.
Yeah,
and she was an officer for 10 years. So
it's kind of throughout the day, do how you see fit. Just be safe.
It was like I wasn't necessarily like a Shasky kid or something, but like, yeah, you definitely home before the lights come on, you know?
Yeah. I did. I will say one of the similarities between us is we did have was like I didn't really have technology growing up. It was either go the fuck outside or sit down and fucking be quiet. But that was on my end. That was more so because we didn't have the money to do that.
Yeah. But yeah, my origin story basically, I am a product of my surroundings, right? So
Yep.
anything I could get my hands on, uh, whether it was going to my local McDonald's or going to the library, if it caught my interest, I dived headfirst, right? And that's kind of how I found my way. Like even with like you mentioned Magic the Gathering, I never owned cards up until after high school. Basically, I had a neighbor that had some, I'm assuming at the time, right? Probably like standard or equivalent of modern, right?
Maybe.
We play a bit, we'd hang out, they're a bit older. Unfortunately, they moved away, right? And with that, okay, I forgot about it. And then it starts coming back, and I notice like some friends maybe playing it or whatever. And I'm like, huh, why does this look familiar? I don't know why, you know? And then eventually, after high school, I went to my local card shop, dived head first, made the worst deck imaginable, and got good. You know?
So for me in Magic, I'm pretty sure I've actually told this story on stream before, or at least on a podcast of ours.
Yeah.
Of my dad introduced me to Magic. We played with some like really old cards, not alpha or beta or anything like that, but like cards you would have seen in like the 70s, 80s, 90s,
Mhm.
you know. And we played for a bit. I lost contact with it because dad was so busy with doing other stuff. And
Yeah.
then I got into high school. Troy reintroduced me to Magic, and then you know, kind of expanded into Commander and so forth. You know.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to say this, but this episode's probably going to be extended. This is going to be an
Yeah,
extended
and we're
episode.
already over an hour.
Yeah.
I will say, Hazy, and this question's going to make you think. How did we
I'm down to
meet?
think. How did we meet? That is such a good question. And for
This
that,
is
I'm going to go
forever
into
ago. This is like
I'm
over
going
a
to go into.
decade.
See, now here's the thing. Here's the funny part is I truthfully don't
I remember.
I don't remember exactly. If I go through the kind of it through kind of like a story monologue, I might remember.
I remember exactly how we met.
I remember, this is what I remember. I remember getting into high school. The first person I met in high school, I met two people. One of them was my girlfriend for high school for 2 years. The other was my best mate for a long time, up until, you know, we kind of lost contact with him for an extended period of time, and you've become my best mate ever since. That was, and I ended up sitting next to them. Funnily enough, this is kind of what pushed me down the path of falling for people very too quickly, because like within the first week of high school, I asked out. We dated I believe that entire year, and like halfway through sophomore, broke up. But I don't think we met until like a week later, because if I remember correctly, pulled me into that one big like skater group. And I believe it's partially through them I met you.
No.
No?
No.
I don't remember then.
So my first year at South, it was my sophomore year. Because my freshman year I was homeschooled.
Yeah, and you were like a year
I want to
ahead of me.
say the second week of that school year. You guys were joking about something crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
In the cafeteria in the morning.
Yeah, I might have been
and I
Nate.
walked
I
through the
100%.
door. Or no, I didn't walk through the door. I was sitting a few booths behind you guys because it was in
Yeah,
the side of the cafeteria,
with the booths. Yeah.
and you guys had mentioned something, and I just kind of turned my head. I was like, "Did I just hear that?" And then next thing I know, we're all chatting and stuff, and I kind of just went from there. And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's bring it back memories. No, you're right, because it wasn't a group. It was a group that hung out with that we interacted through.
yeah, yeah."
I was hanging out. I was hanging out with like it was Seven. I forget his name, but it was some black kid. Some skinny, really nerdy looking back. I believe the kid was in our OTC with you, actually. And then like two other people that I don't really remember because I barely interacted with them. Yeah, you're right. It was that. That is how we met. We met because of some.
I
I
don't
believe it was
remember
some.
who everyone was there. Because again, this is over
I know.
10 years ago now.
Yeah, I know. It was me. It was some nerdy black kid. I don't remember his name. Who there was Seven, who was Mia's best friend,
Mhm.
and then I think there was one other person. I know.
Like in high school, I had a lot of different groups of friends, mostly
Yeah,
because I
same here.
was in a lot of things. Like I was always in the library, and you could find me in the library either watching anime or doing schoolwork, right?
You could find me same. I was watching anime, playing video games, listening
Or
to
being a
music,
degenerate.
or being a degenerate. Yes. Still surprised I never got caught.
You could find me like basically which I didn't do culinary until my junior year because I couldn't do it my sophomore year for whatever reason. Uh and I had to wait to do it my junior year. But my sophomore year I had weight training and I had JRTC. Yeah.
I don't remember what my
My
curriculum was.
junior year I had and my senior year I had culinary JRTC. Because my junior year is when I started culinary competitions.
Yeah,
And I didn't place
I believe
that year.
there had to be some rule about like extracurriculars and your first year there, because I don't remember having an extracurricular freshman year.
Well, also I didn't start. I wasn't there all 4 years.
Yeah.
So
I already
had a lot of stuff on the table.
But I think it had to be.
Credit-wise.
What I'm saying is it had to be something to do with the first year of you being there. Because
Probably.
I don't remember having extracurricular my freshman year. I started art. I started doing art in sophomore year.
Yeah.
And then switched over to digital art halfway through the year, which I still appreciate this teacher so much to this day, because he basically was like they were at a point of like, we don't have we've already got to the point where we've taught all the basics.
Yeah.
And we don't really have a way to catch you up until next year. So just turn in 10 of your own personal artworks and I'll give you a B. And I went, fuck yeah.
Okay.
Turned in 10 of my pieces, ended that year with an A.
Okay.
I guess he liked my art so much.
Yeah. I don't know. I had to put in the work for my extracurricular.
And then junior year I did wrestling.
I consider doing wrestling only because I do have
I believe
a
little
bit of a martial arts background.
I believe me and tried to convince you to join with us because it was me and him who ended up joining.
But I think the reason why I didn't is because I didn't want to worry my mom at the time of paying for a bunch of shit, and plus physical.
I didn't really have to pay for anything. There was nothing we did like.
Well, when you do sports, you have to have a physical, among other things.
Well, yeah, the physical was fine, but it also like a lot of like the gear and whatnot was just kind of provided to us. like every member of the team was kind of just provided the
Yeah.
gear that was
I feel
needed,
like
from
that's the
from the
thing.
uniforms to the shoes to the training gear, everything was kind of provided.
Growing
To
up,
be fair, a lot of the training equipment was also kind of like thrown together. Like,
Yeah.
for instance, we had like a milk crate full of weights that we would drag with that was tied with a piece of rope that we would drag.
Mhm.
That was one of our exercises.
Yeah.
But we also had like the really big fucking tires that we'd flip across the room. Fun fact, I held the school record for the starting personal best on the squat rack.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't know if I still do,
that was
but
a thing growing up. Like, it was always do your best not to ask because chances are we don't have the funds. So it was
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I think that I consider myself lucky with that.
Which
because,
actually,
I know for a fact we didn't have the funds for stuff like that. But I got lucky because a lot of the time it was just
I
like
was
it was
blessed
provided for us.
in certain regards because of that. Because it gave me, I guess, a deeper appreciation for a lot of things. So, in regards to like JROTC, all that stuff, it was by the school. As long as you had it when it was time to return it, you're good, right? Similar to the military, if you have items missing, you have an issue.
Yeah.
But like with culinary, it was kind of the same. Like, we had all our tools provided by the school. Now I had competitions, a few competitions after high school, and that kind of sucked because, granted, I had at that point in time my own like knife kit that I invested in, which unfortunately I no longer have, between moves and people utilizing my stuff, and yeah.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
But I like, actually, speaking of competitions, holy crap. I didn't even go to prom or anything because that was the same day that I had my competitions.
You know what the funniest part? So here's the funny part when it comes to prom. I technically got in for free
Fuck.
because I was hanging out. So junior year, right? Junior year, I'm hanging out with, and this was around the time that we were realizing that we had a closer connection than we had ever realized, and so we were flirting a lot and whatnot. And the principal of the school noticed us and went, "Are you guys going to the prom?" And I was like, "I ain't got the money for it, you know." And she's like, "Here you go," and hands me $30 for the prom entrance. And I'm like, "Looks like I'm going."
Clutch.
Because I was in still pretty decent looking wear. I was in like a nice little red dress shirt, some nice pants, and my boots on, and then was in a beautiful black dress, right?
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, this is the night that I kind of fumbled things a bit. You might know this story because I'm pretty sure I might have told you about it.
I've heard things, but in regards to things like that, I'm the kind of person where unless I'm told directly by the individuals,
well, I'm pretty sure one of them told you about it.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, right? I know details, but we're live, right? Two,
I'm not going to go into extreme details.
Yeah.
What I'm going to say
like,
is,
I didn't necessarily like. I listened to it and I gave my opinion to whoever.
Yeah.
But that was basically it.
We started going to the prom. We went inside for a little bit. We're dancing for a little bit. We hung out. We left the building. We went around to the corner to what was the aerospace part of the aerospace section. There was like this little square little place that was like very dimly lit. Like, it was really dark over there. That was next to where the airplane was. And we started making out. We were getting into it, making out. And one thing led to another. Yeah. I tried sticking it in the back door.
Hey, yo, that's wild.
To be fair, I think there was a miscommunication because I said I wanted to hit it from the back, and I think she thought I meant I just want to do it, but from behind you, and I meant it out. Yes.
Something, I'm
Thank
gonna
you,
be honest,
Loveless.
something like,
Yes.
yeah, that tracks.
The issue is it was I to begin with, I'm a very blind person to begin with, and I have horrible night vision, and it was
Oh, I
very
have
fucking
terrific
dark.
night vision. I have
Oh, no,
terrific
I have
night vision, but
horrid.
I'm also generally blind.
I cannot see for shit in the
And
dark. I have such trouble.
the reason for that is I've been wearing glasses my whole life.
And because of that, when I went to go stick it in, I missed like 4 times. And it just got to the point where it was like, no, let's just go
poor
back.
boy. Oh,
Yeah, no, it just got to the point of like, let's go back to making out for a little bit, and then let's go back. I did rub her up a bit. If you know what I mean. But
can I clip this comment? Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's going to end up on the freaking social media.
go for it. Do as you see fit. Well, let's do as you see fit.
Oh,
we ended up going back around, hung out just outside the prom building for a little while, chatted, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I'm not confident enough to put that kind of stuff out there of my first experience. Oh, Lord have mercy.
That's the thing. I will say this: that was my first experience in regards to anal. In regards to that was my first experience. Other things I'd done a shit ton before.
But
yeah, no, that was that whole thing.
We're gonna dial it back.
Yeah, we're gonna dial back. Also, that's turning into your catchphrase?
Yes, it is. I will claim that catchphrase. We're dialing it back.
Yeah, I fuck with it.
And there was talkings of doing a whimsy after midnight. If we ever do it, I would love to have you on to elaborate. Oh, Lord have mercy.
You know what?
Me or Hazey? Because I have stories. I have stories. Oh, God.
I actually have real quick. I do have a very interesting story in regards to
Hazey.
How do I put this without getting canceled?
But we're gonna dial it back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because we're at an hour 22.
If Loveless, if you ever bring me on to Whimsy After Midnight, I will tell this story. All I can tell you is it was in high school.
We've hit 3 of my 13 questions,
and it had something to do with a Futanari. Moving on.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm busy at the moment. What's going on? Put it on Mom's bed. Did I have wash in the washing machine? I don't even know anymore. Maybe. So, Hazey.
Yes.
What D&D class best describes you and why?
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna be so fucking honest. You're gonna find this answer so funny, and I'm gonna explain it. It's ill rigor. It is the ill rigor, and it is the ill rigor because when I read the ill rigor, it felt like multiple classes put together, different parts of the classes smashed together. It felt the base of it was the paladin, which I connect with on a level of.
Absolutely.
Their whole thing is holding to honor, holding to truth, holding to their oath, holding to their word. And that is something that I connect with deeply. My word is my bond. If I say something, I'm going to do my fucking damnedest to hold to it. So that's my oath. Then it also has like a lot of the Warlock's invocations, their secrets, their darkest truths, which I have a lot of, and I try not to go too into because there are certain things that even I have to go to my grave with.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I pause. I'm having grapes.
You're good, buddy.
Then there's also there's some I don't know if there's anything specific about the ill rigor that brings this to mind, but there's some bardiness to it that I enjoy.
Yeah, especially depending on what subclass.
Which, for obvious reasons, is, me. Also, for anybody who doesn't know what the obvious reasons is, it's because I love music a fucking lot, and I'm a complete horn dog. You're welcome.
Which I have another question after you basically asked me the same question.
And then finally, it feels very much just like a fighter, which, at the end of the day, I'm a very basic dude. I like some basic things. I enjoy some basic stuff. But also, if I need to, I'll knock a motherfucker out.
I would say, in regards to you, I was going to say rogue.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you say that? Of course, Loveless. I can't wait to hear your stories, man. I need to catch your streams more often.
I think similar to the rogue, you definitely would have like expertise in particular things, right? That most people like. Maybe they, it's like a niche thing. Maybe it's not.
I'm an expert at being horny.
Which ties to both rogue as well as bard.
Yeah.
Bards get a lot of the rep, but rogues, come on.
Especially swashbucklers.
Oh yeah.
Especially swashbucklers.
Especially swashbucklers. Come on. You're a freaking pirate, for fuck's sake. The first thing you do when you get on land is you go to a fucking brothel.
No. The first thing they do is find rum. Then they go to the brothel.
Which tends to be at the brothel.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Rogue's an interesting option.
Now, what do you think for me?
What do you think for yourself first?
So, that is a hard question. When I wrote this question down, I'm gonna be honest, Illrigger did come to mind, but I was like, nah, let me keep it more mainstream classes. And I'd have to say Paladin.
I'm going to be so fucking blunt with you. That is my exact same answer.
What? Okay, why? I want to know why you say that.
You are genuinely one of the most trustworthy people I've ever met in my entire life. There are things I have told you that I've never told anybody else, and that includes my family.
You're going to make me cry. I love you, buddy.
You are truthfully, you are an honest person, almost to a fault. Almost, not quite, but almost. Plus, it feels like you have this code of honor that you follow alongside, and that helps you decide your way through life. And I respect that so goddamn much.
You're not wrong. I do have essentially a code of honor that I kind of stick with, like general rules of like, yeah, yes, okay. I'm at least like, okay, I'm happy that you think that. Like that actually, like, that means a lot.
Yeah.
In regards to music, because you did mention music, and I do have a question on my list. Especially because I know you and I know me. What 3 genres of music speak to you often?
Okay. So, are we going to go with do we want to go very specific genres, or are we just doing broad genres that people know?
We could go specific if you want.
I'm going to go specific because...
Now, we don't have to go like specific artists or bands, but like genres.
I will go specific artists and bands if you want me to. I do have very specific artists and bands.
I don't think we have the time to go specific.
To be fair, I could just...
We're an hour and a half.
I genuinely could just say the top 3 artists, because they honestly kind of connect a lot to the 3 genres.
Okay.
The 3 artists are Set It Off, Green Day, and Slipknot.
Okay. Yeah.
Which for context, anybody who's unaware, I personally like to classify Set It Off as either like new metal or pop punk,
Depending on what album you're listening to.
depending on what album you
And
kind
what
of
era
reside
of
into.
album you're listening to, because they've had
There's definitely been more.
They've had a lot of stuff happen.
Oh, their more recent stuff is like its own genre altogether. Combine that, but yeah, Green Day's like punk is hardcore punk,
Yeah.
and then you have Slipknot, who's heavy metal, all borderline on death metal, and those are the genres that spoke the most to me.
Loveless said, "Can I recommend a theme song for Hazey? He's D&Ding around, and all we hear is Closure by 9 Inch Nails."
Hold on a minute. What? Where? Oh, you like it in
Closer. I say Closure. It's Closer.
Yeah, it's called Closer. You got Closer. That's a good song. Although, if I'm being honest, I personally, you know what? Actually, hold on. I'm going to pause. Now I've answered my question, and now I have a question that I'm going to ask afterwards.
Okay.
Before I bounce your question back at you, I'm going to take it also to a broad direction.
Okay.
That growing up, I had a lot of rock, country, and hip hop in my life, and because of that, I have gotten to the point where if there is music, I will listen to it at least once. I generally prefer rock, but I will listen to anything.
Gotcha.
And if I enjoy it, it's the sentiment of like, you know, those videos that it's like, oh, I'm the person who listens to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't listen to everything. I will listen to everything at least once.
Yeah.
But if I don't enjoy it, I won't listen to it again, and I'll put it on my play. And if I do enjoy it, I'll put it on my playlist, and there we go.
Same.
Now, what are some genres from you, buddy? And if you're able to go specific, you can go specific.
Okay. I'd say on my day-to-day.
Also, we all fucking know it. Set It Off is one of the top ones. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I listen to Why Worry on a daily to try to get out of my own head.
I love the difference between your the one you listen to most and the one I listen to most, because with you it's Why Worry. For me, it's Lonely Dance.
See now.
Which, by the way, two very different vibes.
Oh
when
yes.
It comes to like the way they sing.
Now here's the thing though. Depending on the situation, I will listen to the acoustic version, which is a very different vibe from the main version.
Yes. Why Worry? Yeah, the acoustic versions. Have you heard the acoustic version of Lonely Dance?
I don't know if I have, and we could definitely listen to that later sometime.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I would say pop punk, right, is definitely up there.
Yeah.
R&B. I listen to a lot of R&B. And I'm not just saying that because of culture.
I like R&B. I do generally like R&B. I lean more towards rock, as I said, but there are quite a few R&B songs that I grew up on.
And I also listen to...
Oh, hold on. That's a good question, Loveless. What era/year of R&B?
It's a mix of eras and years, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
But I also listen to a lot of underdog artists. And what I mean by that is I try to find artists that if they have good stuff, I will listen to it, mind you. If I don't like the stuff, I'll listen to it. If I don't like it, I won't listen to it, right?
More or less the same thing.
But I try to find something, I try to find artists that don't have a lot of people that listen to it.
I can respect that. R&B, to be fair, R&B is one of those genres
what's cool
that fits
about
best.
That is when you find artists that not everyone listens to, and let's say there's only a few thousand or so, then it kind of comes to a point where maybe you recommend it to a few friends and you're helping them grow. And it kind of feels like a badge of honor of like, hey, I was there when they only had like 2,000 listeners, you know? But yeah, pop punk, R&B, and I'd say rock / metal. I'll kind of meld them together, even though they're two definitely different genres
Well, I
to
mean,
some
if we're being
extent.
honest, metal is kind of like a subgenre of rock, but
Yeah,
I understand what you mean.
yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah,
I can understand what you mean because there are just certain songs or certain
yeah.
bands that you
But
listen to.
also
Just
in
get
that
that strong.
context, I'm not just talking about those genres in the context of American either. I'm talking internationally as
Oh
well.
yeah, I agree. For
I
instance,
listen to so much stuff internationally, it's not even funny.
Bloodywood. Anybody who doesn't know who this is, Bloodywood.
Now, a
Bloodywood is an amazing group. Go
fourth
listen. Oh,
would be pop.
I feel it.
I grew up with a lot of American pop as well as your J-pop, your K-pop, your Latin American pop. So yeah. But I'd have to say for era or year for the most part, probably like definitely 2000s, early 2000s, maybe like 90s R&B.
Funnily enough, I'd have to say that for new metal because I grew up on stuff like 3 Days Grace, Breaking Benjamin,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Linkin Park. That was like growing up, that was my era of music. Skillet is another one.
Now, growing up, I listened to a lot of country. I listened to a lot of rock.
Same.
I listened to a lot of gospel music, right? And depending on who I was around, I listened to a lot of R&B.
Feel it. I genuinely like these answers. If you had to pick 3 artists real quick, who would they be?
Off the top of my head,
Yeah, just off top. Like I did.
On my current, like what I'm listening to, definitely Set It Off.
Of course.
Definitely I was actually listening to old playlists, and there is a R&B artist that actually started out with doing covers on YouTube, and then they started making their own songs. And it's an artist by the name of Devon Terrell.
Sound familiar?
DEVVONTERRELL. Forgive me if I'm wrong because I'm on a little bit of sleep. And I've been listening to them since middle school. And then actually a more recent artist that I've been listening to, which actually I know the band members because I met them at Fan Fusion. And they have a concert coming up in October, which I still need to request some time off because it's on Halloween. And that is Ghost Lovers. And definitely give them a listen because I was listening to them because I'm the kind of person when someone recommends something, I
remember
absolutely
you
listen to it.
I do remember you mentioning that you met like a band while
Mhm.
there. I think you might have mentioned the name, but I don't think I ever got around to listening to it. What did you said Ghost Lovers?
Yeah. Mhm.
Message me that, and I will look them up later.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna move on to, for now, what is my final question? Until I think of something else, because something else will probably get brought up while you ask yours, because I know you still have a few.
I have a lot of questions, and we're an hour 40.
Yeah, we're good. This is going to be at least 2 hours.
Probably.
And that is, what do you think the theme song to your life would be?
Oh, fuck.
And if you want, I can answer first.
I answer first, because I got to think about this one.
My answer, and this has been my favorite song since I was a little kid, is Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one.
I've held that song as like the anthem of my life ever since I discovered it at like the age of, I think, 13. I might even have been I was like 9 when I first heard it. And funnily, so fun little fact for everybody, real quick. Growing up, I had this weird kid mindset of thinking that every single song was done by the same group of people. Like if it was a male artist singing, I thought all the male singing was one person, and I thought all the female singing was another. It wasn't until like I was like 13 or 14 that it finally clicked in my brain that it's like, oh, these are all different people. There's a fun little Hazey fact for you. But yeah,
I'm looking at songs right now and looking at lyrics.
Theme song of my life.
This is a hard question because there's a few. There's a few.
I think it's a good question because it can tell you a lot about a person. It can tell you a lot about their life. And I feel like mine does say a lot about my life growing up. I was a very lonely person. I was by myself a lot. I did not have a lot of friends. And because of that, I had to find other connections with the world.
I got it. I think the song that would culminate is a Set It Off song. Freak Show.
Of course. Ooh, that's a really good one.
There's a lot of stuff with that song that yeah. Also, I found the book series that I was trying to think of earlier.
Oh yeah?
And that is The Seventh Tower by Garth Nix.
Interesting. Okay, I've heard of Garth Nix. I haven't heard of that. What'd you say, Seventh Tower?
I
haven't heard of Seventh Tower. I've heard of Garth Nix.
I've only read the first book. I want to get and read all the books. But yeah, definitely a book series that I want to get into.
You know what? Fuck it. Since I feel like this is a good question for us, and we're on the topic of it, what is a book and/or book series that you feel like if you hadn't discovered, what book series do you think made you the person you are today? What is a book series that you think helped you grow as a person?
Oh fuck.
Now I'm going to answer real quick with my book series, and this is a book series that is by an author that is my favorite author of all time. The author is Pierce Anthony, and it is called the Saints novels.
Okay.
Now, the Saints novels is a weird little series because it isn't. It's kind of a book. It's a book series that's kind of connected, but kind of not. Because every
I'm sorry,
book follows...
I was looking at the chat, and you added you permitted the term "I want to fuck you."
You're welcome.
My god. I swear I'm gonna end up getting a bunch of people being like, I want to fuck, and it's like, what? Yo, when? No.
Tomorrow?
Sorry, I work.
Damn. No, but it's a series called the Saints novels. Basically, every book follows a different person in the world.
Okay.
It's a world that's like heavily pun based. Like characters, the world itself, items, like everything is a pun in this world or some kind of joke. It's a funny little series. Each book, there is like an order to the books that you can read them in, but you also don't have to.
Yeah.
And basically, it's about a world called Xanth, which, funnily enough, is shaped like Florida.
Okay.
Interestingly enough, there is a book series that takes them into the mundane world of America. There is a book that does that, where they go and they visit us. It's very interesting. It's very funny. But it is the book series that, in my opinion, helped me grow and push out of my shell and allowed me to connect with people. It taught me to be more open about the weirdness that is me. It taught me to be more like myself.
I see.
I will say that once again for anybody who's interested in reading this book series. It is called The Xanth Novels by Pierce Anthony. That is spelled Xanth. Xanth. Pierce Anthony. Piersathony. Pierce Anthony.
So, I have a question in regards to your question.
Go for it.
Does it have to be exclusively a book series?
I mean, as long as you could read it, I want to say.
Okay, because mine is
If it's like
a manga
webtoons or
/ anime.
Okay, then that's fine. It's like, did you read it first as a manga?
No, I watched it first,
Okay,
and then I read it,
okay.
which I am damn near
Go for
close
it.
to being up to date
You know,
on.
I'll let it count. I'll count it. I'll let it count for this question. Siddhartha, I don't read it all, but it is one book I read when struggling with life. Every time I read it, I take something new and different from it. Ben today gets something different than the first read. Okay, Siddhartha. Let me look up what that is.
So that the series in question has a lot of life lessons, and I mean a lot. And it gets into the nitty gritty, and that is actually my favorite anime of all time, One Piece.
Fair enough. I should have seen this coming.
Well, yes, because I've been watching since 4Kids, right?
Yeah.
I've been watching One Piece since I was like 2, like literally, and it's very much shaped a lot of me as a person in certain regards. Yeah.
Okay, so real quick, I'm going to actually read off the little wiki thing for this book that Ben has mentioned. Siddhartha is an Indian novel. An Indian novel is a 1922 novel by Hermann Hesse that deals with the spiritual journey of self-discovery of a man named Siddhartha during the time of Gautama Buddha. I think that's the book. Hesse's ninth novel was written. Oh, it was written in German at first.
Interesting.
Oh, but no, that's very cool. I think the only book akin to something like that I've read,
Journey to the West.
Funnily enough, I haven't read Journey to the West.
Really?
No, I need to. I know.
I read an iteration of it. I don't know if I read the exact version of it.
I'll be honest. I think the closest I've come to reading something. I think the closest I've come to reading to the Journey to the West is fucking Dragon Ball manga. I need to read Journey to the West though. The closest I've come to reading a book like that is like War and Peace.
Okay.
And yes, I have read War and Peace. Very good read. I would suggest it for anybody who likes learning some stuff like that. You know, War and Peace is a good option. You know, give it a try.
Same.
You'd be surprised.
I'm always looking for books that, especially if they have like a life lesson to like reflect on, or maybe approve upon myself.
I think the reason that shows a lot about us when it comes to my reading. I prefer reading the fantasy, sci-fi, adventure stuff because it helped me escape a world that I didn't want to be a part of. It allowed my imagination to run free and to put myself into. It's also probably one of the reasons why a lot of the time whenever I read books, I preferred when the main character was a male. Because I had a lot more trouble putting myself in the shoes of a female character, which says a lot about Cassandra Clare's book, by the way. Fucking lead character's a female, and I fucking adore that series. I love the Mortal Instrument series, but
Yeah, I mean,
Again,
like growing up, that was my mindset. But like now that I'm older and I've been through a lot,
funnily enough,
my mindset's kind of shifted. Like, don't
as
get
an
me
older
wrong, I still love
I don't-
fantasy, but
yeah,
yeah.
as an older person, I honestly don't read as much as I want to. And I think that's because I've discovered a lot of the books that I used to enjoy reading or akin to what I enjoyed reading.
hmm
I don't enjoy it as much. Like I'm not as into the young adult book series anymore because I'm not a young adult. I'm still a young adult, but
What is it about One Piece? Example, how you connect to it?
good question.
There's
Good
that is
fucking
a
question.
really good question. Oh, there's so much. First and foremost, I loved Luffy. The first episode, mind you, the first episode I saw was 4 kids, so they changed a bit, right? First off, he is fucking hilarious. If you could, especially if you could watch the 4 kids version, it is fucking hilarious. And like he straight up, without a shout of a doubt, just speaks his fucking mind and is like, he's freaking fighting Alvita or whatever, and he's like, "Who the hell is this fat ass bitch?" You know, like I'm like, "God damn!" And then he sends her flying, and I'm like, "Fuck."
Real quick. After this, I'm gonna let you continue in a sec. But after this, I have a goofy little question for us all because this made me think of something funny. It has really nothing to do with anything,
Yeah,
but I think you'll enjoy the question nonetheless. Continue.
but I think all in all, it is. Yes, it's a story about adventure, right? It's a story about basically a life's journey, but it's also a story. And I mean, shoot, in the first several seasons and sub seasons, they kind of pan back to it in the opening scenes. It's a story about having a dream and what you're willing to see
Go
that
through
dream come into fruition.
what you're willing. It shows that you're willing to fight. For
What are
that.
you willing to do for your dream?
Yeah. Now, as for my question,
Yeah.
this
What was
really
your
has no. If I'm being honest, this has nothing to do with our actual topic. But
okay?
I think you'll enjoy it. What do you think would have been a funny ass anime if you had been introduced to it through 4 kids?
Oh, Ah, a funny ass anime
What does it?
introduced via
What?
4 kids.
How different do you think it would have been? Do you think it would have been goofier if the anime had been introduced to you through 4 kids instead? For example, I think Dragon Ball would have been hilarious on 4 kids,
Yeah,
especially because one of like the defining scenes of Dragon Ball is Goku patting Bulma.
yeah. Naruto would be interesting.
Yes.
Naruto would
Oh,
definitely be. Bleach would be. Oh God, Bleach.
Bleach would be
Berserk.
Berserk inherently wouldn't have been able to get on 4 kids.
Oh no. Oh God, no. They would have been like, yeah, we can't show this to kids.
Ooh,
And then they would hear it's not for kids.
You know what would have been such an interesting show if it had been around during the time of 4 kids? Black Clover.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
I think there's some censorship it definitely would have done,
Oh yeah.
but also I think I think it would have been such a vibe for little kids at that time.
I'm trying to think.
No, bad bed. No, bad.
Oh,
The Promised Neverland is
buddy.
a fucking curse.
I'm gonna
Fun-
stand on this
fun-
hill.
hold
I
on.
recommend it. You should watch it.
It's a good anime. Fun little fact.
It's
My sister.
amazing.
Hold on. Fun little fact. My sister Melody, who just recently started high school, that is her favorite anime.
What the fuck?
Her favorite anime is The Promised Neverland.
How far in is she?
Full. She's watched it all.
I'm curious what their thought is. Yeah.
Food Wars. No. Food Wars would have been censored to
Oh
oblivion.
God, yeah. It would definitely have been tuned down on the Horny.
Here's my thing. If it had been like, what is it? If the people had come forward with this idea of like, hey, let's put Food Wars on it, but had only like told them what the premise of the anime was,
Mhm.
and not actually shown them any scenes, it probably would have gotten on. It probably would have been heavy censored, but it would have been on there, right? If they had if they had brought the anime forward with some clips, that thing would have never gotten on 4Kids.
Oh, I'm curious how this would be. You know what anime just popped in my head for it? Batum.
Say that one more time.
Batum. BT, and I think it's like 3 O's M.
Batum.
To give you context of what the anime is about, it's basically this dude, he's a gamer, right? And he plays basically COD, right? But instead of guns, it's various grenades. And all of a sudden, he wakes up on an island.
Yes, Ben. Yes. Full Metal would have been so fucking cool.
God, yes. But he wakes up on an island with a bag, and he has no clue, like it's a uninhabited island. And anyone that is on the island is trying to kill him.
Okay, yeah, I remember what anime you're talking about now.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes in there which I don't know how they would handle because there is some there's some really fucked up shit in that anime. They did end the anime. There's a lot more manga than there is anime, which I recommend because there's so much story in that. But yeah.
Chris.
What?
High School DxD.
No, because I don't want the censorship.
No, I wouldn't either.
I will die on that hill. I don't want that censorship.
Honestly, though, I feel like
hot take, but I think we should have seen more yaoi. Loveless is an example.
You know what? Fairly, that's fair.
Fair enough.
I probably would have had my awakening a lot earlier on if I had seen more yaoi.
Oh, you know what? Is it perfect?
I just thought of something so fucked.
Kenichi Maria's disciple.
My brain just thought of Boku no Pico.
Oh, hell no. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He said yaoi. He said yaoi, and it was the first thing that came to mind. Oh, it's cursed, but I mean...
That is just straight up incest.
Yeah, it is. It really fucking is.
There is some questions that I wanted to ask, but we're kind of cutting it on time.
Why don't we shotgun them? Like, let's blast through them.
Okay, we'll blast through it. No going through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Though you could give details on this one. So Hazey, people that are watching the podcast, they have not seen you, and there's a reason why. You're planning on VTubing. And for our listeners, what exactly is that, and what kind of models do you have in mind?
Okay, so VTubing is essentially, it's called virtual tubing, essentially. What it is basically you use some kind of animated model most of the time. It doesn't always have to be. Sometimes it's just a picture. Sometimes it's a PNG, which is kind of different because that goes into PNG tubers, which is his own thing, which I'll probably start as, but basically, you know, it's essentially just a V2. It's essentially just a YouTuber or a streamer or content creator, but instead of showing themselves, they either have some kind of image up that they talk through because they don't want to show themselves for one reason or another, or because they want to build up a persona because they want to play as a character. Okay. For me personally, as I've stated before, I am Hazey, the War Crimes Warlock. This is kind of going to be just me, but also with like a semi-persona thing going on. And my model that I'm probably going to be doing, which you can see through a lot of my stuff that is linked to this, I'm going to be doing a Plague Doctor look. I'm going to have like, the quintessential Plague Doctor mask, hat, trench coat, boots, everything. Might even have a little cane, maybe. And the theming is my character's kind of gonna be in charge of like this magic mafia syndicate, aka the Mana Syndicate, as I've called it. And it's kind of taken the ideology of, I am a patron, you are my warlocks. I am passing my power on to you through my adventures, through my stories, through my chaos, and giving you stories to tell yourself and pass it on to others.
All right. What is one question that you wished I asked, and how would you have answered?
Ooh. I wish you had asked about like just some fun little tidbits about myself. Give me some general little just passing by knowledge about yourself. And I would have answered with, my favorite color is red, green, and purple, or a mix of the three. I have a general soft spot for anything music related, video gaming related, or art related. In regards to art, I have, I love supporting artists in any way I can, although I can't really due to the fact that I have no money. But what else? Fuck. I thought I had more thought up for that part, but I generally kind of wish you'd ask like just about some fun little facts about myself. Nothing too complicated. Just like, what are little tidbits? Like, favorite colors. Like, when's your birthday? I don't know what I answered. January 14th, 2000. Yeah, I'm a Capricorn.
I'm a Taurus.
Of course, that's why we get along. We both have horns.
May baby.
Yeah, baby. I love spicy food. I have a general soft spot for comedy. Like when it comes to theming, I love fantasy, I love sci-fi, but then comedy is like the third for me.
Okay.
You know what? I'm sorry, that's a fucking lie. Comedy would be a fourth because horror is my third.
Fair enough.
I love horror, gore-based movies, stuff like that. I love them. They're fucking amazing. Fun little fact for everybody. Did you know Jurassic Park's a horror movie?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, most people don't realize that. Like they look at it and go, "Oh, it's a little adventure." No, it's a horror movie.
Let me describe the scenario for our listeners or watchers. You're in a porta potty taking a crap, and all of a sudden, half the porta potty is ripped off.
And there's a giant, towering, what you thought to be extinct monstrosity standing above you.
Mind you, the whole time you didn't hear them approach. You didn't hear a stomp. You didn't hear anything.
Okay, hold on. That's not entirely true. You're in the fucking crapper because you fucking realized that something was coming towards you and you fucking bolted for it.
No, the scene I'm talking about, he was in there. He was taking a dump.
Lawyer?
No, I'm talking like OG Jurassic, where he's taking a crap.
No, that's the lawyer. The original Jurassic Park? Yeah. No, that's the lawyer. He bolts from the van with the little kids in it. No, he ran because like they saw the fucking stomping happening after the power went out, and he's like, he sees the water shaking in the glass and fucking bolts for the fucking bathroom.
Yeah. That is fucking terrifying.
There is another one in one of the newer movies where there's a dude hiding in like a porta potty, and that's the one you're thinking of. Fair. He was not shitting.
Mandela effect, yes.
Hiding. Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah. People tend to forget. Yeah.
All right, do you have any last minute questions for me?
Are there, I guess I'll ask you one final question. Is there any question you wish I had asked you? And if so, what would the answer be?
I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure. I guess I could go the same route that you did because I'm not sure.
Fair.
And to answer that, like, I'm a Taurus, May 3rd. I'm a 90s baby on the tail end of the 90s.
Y'all.
I'm not going to say the year because I'm not going to age myself because that's how old I am. As you get older, you don't want to age yourself.
98.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you too.
I
Yeah, he's 2
my
years older than me,
general
guys. Don't worry.
my general love for colors, core encompassing would be red, blue, black, and I'd say gold.
Fair.
In regards to blue, it'd be crimson or royal blue. Red would be crimson. And then like midnight black, right?
I'm gonna put one last save for the next episode. When the last time you pooped yourself? Fucking Ben.
When is the last
No.
time you pooped yourself?
Save for the next episode. Ironically enough, I came really close yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before.
See,
Yeah,
that's an area of adulthood where it happens to the best of us. I'm going to be honest.
I came really close. I didn't, but I came
You don't
close.
need to feel ashamed. It happens to the best of us.
No, but I have one final thing to input into like weird facts about myself. I have a weird soft spot for Lovecraftian things, which is funny as hell because I've never read the original eight Lovecraft books.
Neither have I.
Never read them. I want to.
However, I do have a campaign setting definitely for future projects.
Real quick, Chris, speaking of D&D, once we're done with this.
Yes, we do have another episode.
No, I want to talk to you in the times. I want to talk to you about an idea for the one shot maybe. I want to bring it up to you.
Okay.
Anywho, we've been going for almost 2 hours now, guys.
Actually, no, we're past 2 hours. We're at 2:07. Yeah. Okay. Hazey, where can our listeners find you online? What are your socials?
Here on Twitch, which I don't use a lot lately, but I hope to get back into it in the near future. You can find me under Hazey the Warlock. You can find me on Instagram under Hazey the Warcrime Warlock or Warcrimes Warlock or the Warcrimes Warlock, which is the @ for my thing. You can find me on X under the Warcrime Warlock, @ the Warcrime Warlock, and you can find me on Discord under Hazey Fire. Let me remind myself what the fucking number is. Hazey Fire 0182. For anybody who wants to chat, I'm always down to make new friends. I'm always looking for people who want to game, want to play Magic, D&D, video games, music,
absolutely,
anime, anything. I'm always down. I want to make more friends. I want to get out there in the world. If you are interested in being my friend, hit me up on Discord. Again, that is Hazey Fire 0182.
Yeah,
what about you, dear
Alurgus. You can find me on numerous amount of platforms. Shoot, you could even type me in Google. We did that the other day. And that is ALURGUS. You can find me on Twitter. It's now X, like a lot of things. As well as Instagram under Alurgus_gaming. You can find me on YouTube as well as Blue Sky as Alurgus. Also, you could find, because we have pod socials, so you can find us on Spotify, you can find us on YouTube. Spotify, you could just type in Howling at Night. We do have our podcasts on the Night Howlers Network channel on YouTube. And we have an Instagram. Yeah.
I just typed Hazey the Warcrimes Warlock into Google, and a little AI overview came up. Hazey the Warcrimes Warlock is an online handle used by a small-scale Twitch streamer and gaming content creator tied to satirical community memes and min-maxing morally questionable spell/ability combinations in tabletop and video RPGs. What the fuck? War
Well,
crime meme.
I'm gonna have to look that up later.
The war crimes meme is in communities playing Dungeons and Dragons or Destiny players
Dipping
frequently joke
out
about creative
a
stamina persona, streaming persona. The handle reflects a Plague Doctor themed internet persona used for casual gaming broadcasts and online community interaction. Holy shit! An AI has found me.
yes. Appreciate you for hopping in. We will be doing an episode after this. Maybe give us like 5-10 minutes or so, because Hazey has some questions for me. But I appreciate everyone that hopped in. We will see you guys on the next adventure.
And no worry, Loveless. No worry,
yeah.
Loveless. You be safe, man. We'll talk to you later. If you can't catch the next episode, okay, man. We'll talk to you later. Be safe. And everybody else, talk to you later.